Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you some graphic novels I recently picked up and reviewing them. I picked up 3 graphic novels. I ordered these from Amazon and they came fairly fast and I read them all within one day, and I was pleasantly surprised. I actually really enjoyed all 3 graphic novels, so I'm going to give you a review on them. I have here Morning Glories Volume 1. I then have The Woods Volume 2, and then I have Sex Criminals Volume 2. So I'm going to start with Morning Glories, as this is Volume 1. I remember when this graphic novel first came out and it seemed quite popular on BookTube. It was kind of doing the rounds, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner. I think I did go to pick it up in a Waterstones once, but the cover was damaged, so I didn't end up buying it. And then I kind of just forgot about it. But when I was on Amazon kind of scrolling through different graphic novels, this popped up and I remembered that when it first came out I was really interested, so I purchased it. Now this graphic novel is by Image, and I seem to like quite a lot of Image graphic novels. I have quite a few by this kind of company, and this is a thriller graphic novel. So the story follows these kids on the front cover, all these teenagers, and they all receive scholarships to this kind of really elite academy. And not much is known about this academy, but it seems to have like high prestige and it's like a really big deal that you got accepted into this academy. But all these different children seem to have come from different backgrounds, some richer, some poorer. You get to see a few of their backgrounds through like flashbacks into how they were accepted into this academy, or them talking to their families about being accepted into it. But it's all quite mysterious. You don't really know why these children have been picked as of yet. They all seem to, it kind of hints that they all kind of either have hidden talents, or you know, like some of them may be very intelligent, some may be more, you know, brawny and athletic, and they seem to be like kind of sorting through pupils to like pick out the best of the best kind of a thing, but you're not really sure why yet. And the children are kind of set challenges, and you see this from very on, or they're like encouraged almost to be rebellious, and yeah, it's like find out things about this academy. It's all very mysterious, but it is very violent from the get-go. There are quite graphic scenes. They're not gentle with these students. My guess is that they're being trained to either be some kind of like spy, or some kind of trained killer, or something to do like with the secret government, something like that. You're not really sure yet. There is quite a big surprise at the end of this graphic novel, which I really liked, and it kept me very intrigued as to wanting to continue with the series to see what happens and where this goes. I was kind of surprised on Goodreads that it didn't have as high a rating as I thought it would have. A lot of the people didn't like the kind of graphic violence in this, or yeah, they just said it was like a basic kind of storyline. I didn't think it was basic. I really enjoy it, and I'm quite hard to please when it comes to thriller storylines. But I thought it was good for the most part. I found it highly entertaining, and I'm definitely going to continue with this series and see how it progresses. A lot of people said it starts off strong and then it kind of like loses its way a little bit, so I'm hoping that's not the case. But as I make my way through this series, I'll keep you guys updated as to whether I continue to like it or not. But so far, really enjoyed this. I was yeah, really impressed. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Sex Criminals Volume 2, and I read the first one a while back, again when it was kind of first coming around. I think I have a review on the first volume, and this is a really fun graphic novel. So this is Volume 2, Two Worlds, One Cop, and the basic storyline of this is there are these 2 people, this couple, a man and a woman, and they have sex, and when they orgasm they can stop time, and during that stopping time place everyone else kind of stands still and they can basically do whatever they want, and they kind of go around doing all these naughty things. And the first graphic novel is, I would describe definitely as a comedy. It's like yeah, adult comedy. And it was really, really funny. And this is still a comedy, although I do feel like in this one you're getting to know the characters a little bit more, and particularly John, the main guy in this graphic novel. It kind of delves a lot into his mental health. He kind of has a few issues. He like has ADHD and like sex addiction, and it's the struggles of them two. It's kind of like to do with their relationship problems and his mental health, but it's done in a very it's done very well. Like, it's not like depressing or anything, it's just very, very interesting, and it's them working through their problems. It's kind of like them trying to piece together their like sex life and their like outside problems, and how the outside problems are affecting their sex life and that kind of thing. So I found that really interesting. They also have, in the last graphic novels, they did some naughty things, and they're called like the sex police or that kind of thing, where these people, they're not the only people who can do this. There was like, they find out there are several people who can do this, and there's kind of this organisation that is trying to control them, and they're obviously finding a bit more about this organisation and trying to break out and rebel a little bit. So yeah, it's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I liked getting to know the characters a bit more. Yeah, basically on the back here it just says they have lots of sex and they start robbing banks. That's kind of what it is. And yeah, John and Suze have a problem, and yeah, it's just all these things on the back. I'll show you the back of it. But yeah, it's just very well done. I find it very, very entertaining. I would highly recommend. Again, obviously they're having sex, so it's graphic in that sense. I really like the art style. It's done really, really nicely. I don't really know how to describe it. They're quite simple. It's simple artwork with quite basic colours on each page. They seem to like pick an accent colour and go with it. This one I think is a little bit darker colour palette than the first one. But yeah, I highly recommend them both. I'm just trying to check to see I'm not showing anything too explicit when I show a page. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it and I recommend. Lots and lots of people rave about this graphic novel. It seems to be quite popular, and I will definitely be continuing with this series. It's also by Image Comics. I seem to like favour Image Comics. I have a lot of their graphic novels. But yeah, highly recommend that one. And my last one is by Boom and Boom Studios. And this is, like I said, also a volume 2, and this is The Woods. Volume 2, The Swamp, also has a really, really nice colour palette in this graphic novel. The first one, they're both quite different, this one and the first one. So in the first one, you follow this school full of students and teachers gets transported to another world. You don't know why or how. They just get transported, and the story is split between two groups. So it's telling the story of some students and teachers that stay in the school, and it's like the teacher student dynamic is being challenged, and the students, you know, rebel and they're thinking about taking over, and it's about the teachers trying to hold control and if they can or can't. And then the second part of the story is split between a group of teenagers who leave the school and they go on an adventure into the planet, into the woods, filled with different monsters and kind of things. And yeah, so the story is split, whereas in this volume, volume 2, the story is solely going around the group of children who've left the school and are wandering through the woods. So you see more about this world, you meet some of the monsters, some of the creatures, some of the people who live in this world, and you get to know, yeah, the outside a little bit. And there's also a lot of character development in this volume, so you get a lot of character development through this group of children through flashbacks to them being in the school. My only complaint about this would be you don't really hear anything, there isn't anything about the group of children and teachers who have stayed in the school and who are still in the school. and that was a little bit disappointing just because in the first graphic novel it left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So I really want to know what's happening to the kids still in the school, and things, you know, the situations were not good, and I want to know what's going to happen to them. So I'm hoping in the next volume maybe it'll flip back and forth again so we can see what's going on there. But nevertheless, the story was really interesting. I liked seeing the monsters that were in this world. Like I said, you get to meet people who live within this world, you learn a little bit about them. It's still a little bit mysterious. There's a lot of friendships being challenged and relationships being challenged in this volume, which I liked. And there's a lot of diversity. There's also like LGBTQ representation in this, which I like. And yeah, just overall really good. I love the colour palette as well. The artwork's really nice. It was beautiful in the first one and it's really nice in this one. Let me try and find some pages. And the monsters are really cool. Yeah, it is a little bit, in some parts it's kind of a little bit like teen angsty, which normally, like in books, I don't like YA books. I can't stand angsty teenagers. It just winds me up. But for some reason in graphic novels it doesn't seem to really be a thing. Like, it doesn't bother me as much because pretty much all three of these graphic novels revolve around teenagers, which would normally really annoy me. But in, like I said, in graphic, actually no, Sex Criminals is not teenagers. Sex Criminals is definitely adult. But this one and Morning Glories, you know, centres around teens in a school basically. But I enjoyed both very much. And yeah, I highly recommend. I'm going to be continuing with all three of these series, so I will let you know how it goes. Hopefully in a couple of weeks I'm going to go online and pick up the next volumes and see where it leads, because I'm actually, like, sometimes the graphic novels I'll read them and then I'm okay with waiting a little while for the next one, or it kind of wraps up in a way that, you know, if I didn't continue it would be okay. Whereas all three of these, I'm actually really interested to see what happens. You know, I think the stories in this one, I really want to know what's going to happen. I want to know more about the world, you know, how and why they got transported there, the dynamics between, you know, the teachers, you know, the kids that were left behind in the school and the kids that kind of went off on their own to explore. And then in this one, I really want to know. I can't really say too much about the ending because I feel like it would just give stuff away. But this one again kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger where I just really want to continue it. And then obviously Sex Criminals is just highly entertaining, funny, and just weirdly relatable in parts. And yeah, I really enjoyed all of them. So yeah, if you've read any of these and have thoughts, then please leave them down below. If you have any recommendations for me on other graphic novels along these similar lines that you think I would like, and then let me know. Or have you read these and continued the series and maybe have a different opinion than me? That would be cool to know as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I just want to say thank you for watching, and until next time, bye guys.